On this episode of How to Make Dinner, I am making the most delicious sandwich ever. Thanks for joining me today to make this really delicious Beet Reuben. To make a really good Beet Reuben, you have to start with beet pastrami. I'm not one of these like fake meat people. I'm not like, you know, cauliflower wings or whatever, but you know what? Who cares? It's fun and it tastes really good. So we're making beet pastrami for the Beet Reuben. To make the beet pastrami, I'm gonna make a little rub slash marinade to put on the beets. So I've got my trusty mortar and pestle here, and I'm going to add a bunch of spices to it. So I've got coriander seeds, half a teaspoon, chili flakes, half a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of black pepper, a full teaspoon of celery salt, which I always have kicking around for my Caesars, a half teaspoon of garlic powder, and a full teaspoon of mustard. Now, this could be mustard seeds, but I just have grainy mustard that's prepared, so I'm gonna use that. And then I'm just gonna bash it all up. Coriander seeds are pretty soft, so they're easy to bash up, so it doesn't take a lot of effort. If you didn't have a mortar and pestle, you could use a food processor or a little spice grinder, or you could just use all pre-ground stuff. All right, so I've got this rough, spicy, delicious paste. And it's okay that it's not like powder fine. It's a little bit coarse, but that's cool. Into the spice paste, I'm gonna add roughly 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil and roughly 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar. And I'm not adding salt because I already added celery salt, which is quite salty. And just give that a little mix. And now we've got our beet pastrami marinade. Okay, so I've got a handy little mandolin here, and I have some beets. These beets have been cooked and cooled and peeled. I cook them in a pot, but you can cook them in an Instant Pot, however you like. It's just important that you keep them whole because that's how you get your big slices that are gonna kind of have a pastrami vibe. So cook them whole, cook them unpeeled, and then peel them and cool them. And then I have a mandolin here. If you don't have a mandolin, you could use a knife, but you do want to get them really thin as humanly possible. So mandolin really, really, really helps. I'm just gonna give these a slice directly into the marinade. Oh, see, they even kind of fold over like pastrami. And then depending on how well cooked your beets are, these ones are quite cooked, so I'm gonna have to be extra gentle tossing them in the marinade so they don't fall apart. I'm trying to not slice my fingers. They do have these mitts, these kind of like wiry gloves that you can get for the purpose of mandolin slicing. Sounds like a really smart idea. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my clean hand and give the beets a little bit of a toss in the marinade gently so that I don't break them up too much. If I break them up a bit, it's not the end of the world, but it's kind of nice to have the sliced beet, not busted up beet, you know? Oh yeah, look at that. Doesn't that look good? Ooh, I feel like that looks really good. It's like juicy. It's like everything you want in pastrami. And the thing about pastrami is normally it would be full of brown sugar and stuff to make it kind of that cured sweetness, but beets are already sweet, so you don't need to add any sugar. This is nice. I'm excited. I might just give it a quick sample. Yum. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside. Probably just leave it on the side of the counter for now while I get all the other stuff ready. Next, I'm gonna make the sauce or the spread that's going on the Reubens. Often on a Reuben, you'll see Thousand Island dressing or Russian dressing. The thing that both of those have in common is mayo and ketchup. So in my book, as long as it has some kind of mayo ketchup mixture, we're good. So I'm gonna take my homemade mayo, and I'm not measuring this, but I think it'll be good. I'm gonna make a lot of it. I love this homemade mayo method so much. And then I'm gonna take a big squeeze of ketchup. Yep. And then a little few dashes of hot sauce. This is a Louisiana style hot sauce. And then a decent sized spoonful of prepared horseradish. If you wanted this to be more Thousand Islandy, you would add like green relish, hot dog relish, or chopped up gherkins or pickles or something. And that's the sauce. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy, pretty delicious. Sweet and horseradishy and delish. Love it. And the other component we have to prepare before we start making the actual sandwiches is the cheese. So Swiss cheese is awesome, Gruyere or Emmenthal. I have Jarlsberg, which I totally love. It's such a good melter. All you really want here is a really good melting cheese. Then other than that, it's all up to you. I'm gonna grate a lot of cheese because I don't want to run out. You know? Nobody wants to run out of cheese when they're making their rubes. That's enough cheese. The only other component we need is kraut. We need sauerkraut, and I have store-bought sauerkraut today because we ran out of homemade. But tips for shopping for store-bought sauerkraut: pick one that's in the fridge, because if they're on the shelf, that means that they're pasteurized and they don't have the same bacterial benefits. And honestly, there's probably only like one good one in your store, if any. Like, I feel like good sauerkraut is not that easy to come by unless you're in like a health food store. This brand is awesome. I love it so much. Sometimes I even just buy it because I love it, even though we already have homemade at home. I'm just gonna have a big bite of it right now. I hope you guys don't mind. Really packs a punch, you know? This one has some ginger in it. Ooh, so nice. We're making the sandwiches. All right, so all that's left to do is make the sandwiches. You could do these in the oven under the broiler if you wanted. I'm using my flat top because it makes me feel like I work in a diner, which is a feeling that I deeply enjoy. I'm gonna butter the outside of the bread and slap it on. I'm actually gonna stick them close together so I can just put just a whole bunch of cheese on. This is a really good way to get cheese on both slices when you squish them together. Oh yeah. See, I already feel like I don't have enough cheese. I'm already having fear of running out of cheese here. Just to kind of speed up the whole cooking melting process, I'm also gonna put some beets down on the grill as if I'm frying pastrami, because that's pretty fun. Ooh, look at that. Now that the beet pastrami is pretty nice and hot, I'm just gonna chuck it on one side of the Reuben. Oh yeah. And then I'm gonna put the sauerkraut on now too, because then it's kind of nice when that warms up a bit. On the opposite side. I like a lot. And then I'm gonna put a lid on to encourage the melting of the cheese. And just wait a few minutes. It's hard to tell if the bread is burning or not because it's a nice dark rye. So I guess that means if it's burned, then nobody will notice. Until they bite into it, at least. I'm seeing some real melty cheese going on here, hiding underneath the beets and the sauerkraut. You might be thinking at this point, did she forget to put the sauce on the bread? And you would be right. I totally forgot. But it's totally fine because I'm just gonna slap it on the middle and it'll be just as good. I think we're looking pretty melty here. So the key here is just to melt the cheese. That's all we wanna do. The beets are already hot. The sauerkraut doesn't really need to be that hot. And then before we close it, we're not gonna forget about the sauce. So normally I would just spread this on the bread, but I'm just gonna dollop it on the kraut instead. And I'm not gonna be shy about it either. I'm gonna be generous. And then close her up. Oh, look at that thing. Look at that thing. Look at that. Now, I think the key to cutting into any sandwich, especially a tall sandwich like this, is to just do it like a Band-Aid, like just all in one. You don't want to be sawing, no sawing motions, no kind of beating around the bush. Just get your knife lined up and then just right down. That's it. And okay, so it's juicy like a pastrami sandwich. It's saucy, it's sweet, it's spiced and salty and cheesy, and I think I have to take a bite, right? It would be like a crime not to at this point. Oh my God, look at this. This is like a mini napkin sandwich. Mmm. Oh my God. It's so good. It's really juicy. Oh, that is so good. Do I have Beet Reuben on my face? No. I don't? No, pretty good. All right. So this is delicious. And I'm really excited to make more of them. And I'm gonna just get into my short order diner cook mode and have a really fun Friday night and eat a lot of Reubens. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you make this because honestly, it's so good. You can cook a bunch of beets at once, especially if you're using your Instant Pot to cook them. Chuck them in there whole, set the Instant Pot for 20 minutes with some water, and you can do like 5, 6, 7, like just do a bunch of beets. You can use them for beet salads. You can make these Reubens. You can do all kinds of stuff with them. Thanks so much for joining me on this episode. These Beet Reubens are amazing. I hope you give them a try. And thanks for showing up and tuning into my videos every week. It really, really means a lot. And thanks for showing all your appreciation with the likes and the subscribes and the comments. It's pretty amazing. And I'll see you in the next episode.
Hey guys, today on How to Make Dinner, we're making beet dinner.
Thanks, buddy.